Yo, what up, guys? We got a dope B-boy. He's from Washington, D.C. Crew Illusion and B
Elusives.
Lucives. That's right.
Elusives.
Lucives and B fam. We got Curt Rage. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro? Nice to be here. Thank you for having me. You know,
Dope. Before we kick it off, a little bit about me. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tony47. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I've been dancing or breakdancing for about 17 years, off and on. I won jams, I judge jams, and I thrown jams, but out here in Portland, right? And so the context of this new channel and podcast is to explore your knowledge, lessons you learn, and most of all, inspire others through your visual lens. So, Curt Rage, tell me, how did you get into breakdancing?
man, I started breaking in '08. I was always dancing though, like since I was pretty young. Like I was, but nothing like very formal. I was just really into Michael Jackson as a kid. Like my parents
Hmm.
introduced me to Michael Jackson, so
Yeah.
I used to just spend time like, just learning his choreography through his music video shows and performing that at talent shows. And I was kind of just always into dancing like that. And then
Oh, nice.
that
Okay.
got there was only so much you could do with that. So I wanted to learn like another style of like I wanted to learn like something more deep. And then eventually I met a guy in my middle school who could break. And he had pictures of like
Yeah.
Hong Ten and physics on his like notebook and stuff.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah, it was mad corny. And I was like, dang, you know how to do that? I was like, what is that called? He was like, it's called breaking. And then there was this movie called Kicking It Old School. It had like
Oh,
Casper
okay.
in it. Yeah, you ever
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
it? Yeah.
I did see that.
That was like my first thing that I saw where I was like, that was like breaking. And then I was like, I knew that was breaking. And then from there, I knew that was Casper in the movie. And then I looked him up on YouTube, and that eventually became a rabbit hole. And then that guy from my middle
Yeah.
school brought me to my first battle, like maybe like 2 months later. That was like kind of it. That's when I was like, oh my God, this is like the best thing ever. Like, and then I just never really stopped from there.
Oh, that's tight
Yeah.
that how like the movie kind of inspire people. Like for me, I actually saw that in theaters. I'm a little older probably than you. So I saw that in
Yeah.
theaters, Kicking Old School. I think that really did it for me was You Got Served. So that was like I was in high school when that
Yeah.
kind of came out, and like, oh, everyone in school kind of wanted to practice choreography or hip hop, and um
Yeah.
I was into
I
it.
mean, that was the
Yeah.
era of dance movies. I mean, I feel like no one thinks those movies are really that good, but it got a lot of people to dance and like start breaking. And when I started, every school in my county like had a breaking club. Like the high school scene was almost like its own separate scene. Like it was huge back then. And
Yeah.
a lot of people started because of like America's Best Dance Crew and like the Step Up movies.
Yeah. Yeah. American Best Dancer was pretty tight. So I remember watching that, and
Yeah, I
always
watched a lot of that
rooted
too.
for
It was cool. Those are
uh,
good. I liked it. It was cool. And like I mean, they had real ass B-boys on that show, you know what I'm saying? Like Super Crew One, Quest Crew
yeah.
One. I mean, Jabberwockies, like a lot of B-boys were on that. So it's like,
Yeah.
and it pushed a lot of people, it pushed breaking into like a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah, yeah, it's dope. That MTV that show was great. It's kind of cool because if you step back and like look up some other podcasts, if you listen to
Yeah.
like Kinja's podcast, they talk
Yeah.
about a lot of that story, but like a lot of them in that crew didn't know like really what they're getting into, or they didn't know how big it was gonna be, and
Yeah.
so it's really cool and interesting.
Dude, like when I was at work one time, like I used to work at Uniqlo, and like one of my coworkers came in with like a Kinder's jacket. Like it was like, and he was just like a fan. Like I was
Uh-huh.
like, whoa, that's like because I think we see a lot of like breaking brands and stuff, and it hasn't really reached like non-dancers, the same way like
Right.
non-skaters like wear Thrasher or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
wear wear Palace or like Supreme, and like those are skating brands. So that was like
Yeah.
kind of cool to see where I was like, yo, someone like that doesn't really dance or break, just like finds it fascinating and like wants to like wear that kind of swag. Like they want to
Yeah.
be they want to feel like a part of it to some degree. They connect to it. And I think
Yeah.
that's really cool, man, because I feel like so many people think breaking is like not very relatable, but I think breaking is like very relatable.
Oh yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
yeah, I think it's more relatable than like a lot of things. I feel uh it just hasn't been packaged in a certain way
Right,
You
right.
know, I think because we've just had so much misunderstanding of what breaking is through like the media throughout the year. So there's like just so much misinformation. Like the fact that, you know, some
Yeah,
people like think popping, locking, and breaking are like one thing when they're like three separate styles. You know, like some people still think that.
right,
You know, so there's some people still think we dance on cardboard. You know, we dance on
right.
linoleum. Like I've never danced on cardboard my whole life. Like you know,
Oh,
so
really?
I
I
don't think I've ever danced on cardboard. You know, but back then everyone knew like you just go get like a linoleum mat. You know.
Yeah, because back in the 80s, people didn't have like the privilege to have like the flooring like that, right? William and
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
They'll
yeah,
take it on the streets and dance on cardboard. Me and my few buddies, we dance on cardboard in the past. Just
yeah.
like we'll take it to the park and we're just like, all right, let's just
That was
practice
yeah,
here.
yeah. That was before like
Um,
we B-boys discovered linoleum, huh? Like
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So people, I mean, people did dance on cardboard, but by the time I started breaking, I think everyone knew like you could get like a linoleum mat.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It also helps with
from
like a layer of cardboard under it and then the
yeah.
linoleum over it just for like cushions.
I never tried that.
If you're
That might
doing it,
actually work.
if you're doing like in the park or like on the cement floor and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But no, that's dope, man. And how you said that the swag or the jacket you saw from your coworker at the time,
yeah.
I think it's cool because like when we see it or people that know kind of the dancing, like oh, first thing pops in, hey, are you a dancer? You know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of cool to for them to rep it like that and
Yeah, exactly,
sense,
man.
you know. So definitely, I think breaking is still on its way up,
Hmm.
especially coming towards Olympic. I think it'll be more mainstream, but as
Yeah.
for like crews, I think that's still developing. Like, there's also big crews, super crew. I think they sell merch and stuff like that too, but it's not as big as like as the hip hop scene. So
Yeah.
I think it'll still
Now
grow.
100%.
It's still
Yeah, yeah.
coming on its way. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, cool.
everything.
How'd you get your name? Curt Rage. Was there a story behind that?
Oh yeah. Long story. I'll try to keep it short. I mean, my real name's not even Kurt. My real name's Chris. But people just started calling me Kurt as like a joke because I was judging like some community center battle for like
Uh-huh.
when we were like all in high school. We threw like together like just like a small battle. And then at the time, like I tried to call myself Kid Nguyen, but it never really stuck.
Mm,
You know, I was just trying to have like a hip hop name, you know, like because there was like Kid Glide, Kid David, Kid Rain. Like, you know, everyone had Kid, like,
yeah.
you know, and I was young. So at the time I was like, okay, maybe I'll be Kid Nguyen because that's like my last name. But it never stuck. No one thought it was tight, you know? And then they on the flyer they put my name as Curtis. And then and so everyone just started calling me Curtis. I don't know why to this day. And then yeah, it's really dumb, bro. And then my friend Nathan, one of the guys I started with, he would just kept misspelling it when we would talk on AIM. So it just kept
Uh,
evolving, and then eventually it just became Kurt, like just Kurt for short. Then everyone just started calling me Kurt. And then Rage was because I used to talk like mad shit in
uh-huh.
battles. Like as a kid, like I looked angry. So people were always like, yo, this dude's always raging. And then it kind of became like a phrase, like, you know, I would look at Nathan, I'd be like, yo, bro, like, what should I do before? Like, I was nervous, you know? I was like, yo, what should I do? You know? And he's like, yo,
Yeah.
Kurt, just rage on them, bro. They're like, yo, Kurt. So then it just became like almost like a phrase. They're like before people saw me about, they just look at me like they're just like, "Yo, Kurt, rage, like
Yeah.
go
Oh,
hard," you
okay.
know. Then I was like, "Yo, that sounds kind of cool," and so I was like, "I'm gonna just use that," and then I just started entering as that, you know. I was just like Kurt Rage,
Nice.
yeah, and I don't know, and a lot of people it just started sticking, so everyone just started like calling me Kurt Rage, you know, and I like it because it's kind of like a classic name, you know, like Ken Swift. So just stuck
Yeah.
with it ever since. And I think it's
No.
funny because like it's like not even my real name, you know. It's kind of like I'm trolling people because everyone will assume like, you know, Kurt is my real name.
Right, right.
Yeah, and everyone just calls me Kurt. Like my family calls me Kurt. My all my friends call me Kurt. Like no one really calls me Chris anymore.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of adopted the name of it. So, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fully Kurt now, you know. I introduce myself as Kurt, like even to like, you know, non-dancers, I'm always like, yo, what's up? I'm Kurt. Like, yeah,
Okay. Tight. That's
yeah.
tight. Oh, man. How old are you when you said you were in middle school when you started
Yeah,
breaking?
I was 13. I'm
Okay.
28 now, so
Okay.
yeah, about 15 years. And then I turned 29 in January. Almost 16 years
Ah,
of
dope.
breaking. Long time thing, like crazy, you know, to be doing something for this long,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
no, most definitely. I mean, I've been on it since like almost 17 years now. I started in '06, right?
Oh, okay.
I started right. 18 years old. So I started back then, and around 17, I was like into like the hip hop stuff, but then
Yeah.
didn't really track the way. And some guys came from did assembly doing uh did a performance in breaking, and then I kind of gravitated to that and kind of met those guys, and some of them are still breaking till this day. So I'll train with them and stuff still. But yeah, that got in a little bit later. I mean, off and on too. Sometimes I wish I, got in a little bit younger, but I
Yeah,
didn't get
me
exposed
too,
to it.
bro. Like, but I still started pretty young. I started when I was 13, and I still wish I started younger. I wish I started when I was like two
Yeah.
years old.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be way easier to learn air flare at like when you're
Oh
like
yeah.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. While you're younger, for sure. For sure. I
Yeah.
mean, you're still young. You said you're about to turn 28 or 29.
Yes, 29, even 29, entering your 30s is still pretty young, man. I still have the capability to like learn new moves. And I'm still like, I still feel myself getting better. And I think a lot of people are pushing like 30, 40, and like still like evolving. So it's like
Yeah.
it's all up here.
Yeah.
It's all in
Yeah.
it's
It's
all in
all
your mind.
mindset, a little advice for me. I'm 36, right? I just
Yeah.
turned 36 last month. And I feel like I'm not even finished, man. I'm still learning as much as I can. I'm still breaking. I just gotta make sure I keep, more active. But I definitely,
Yeah.
10 years ago when I was a little bit younger, I was like, I didn't really stretch as much and stuff. I was like, oh, I'll
Yeah.
just start throwing moves. But now it's like I gotta warm up and then stretch and then before I
Yeah,
can hit
yeah,
some
yeah,
some
yeah.
big moves.
It
So
takes a lot to
um
break at an older age, but I think it's very doable. And I think a lot of that stuff like stretching, working out, and just eating right will that keeps you young. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
like not just for breaking, but like later on in your life, you'll still be moving really good, and feeling good, which I think
Yeah,
for me is the whole point. Is just like being healthy and like the art of longevity, and
for
just like
sure.
how yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure. On a typical day, how often do you train a week or a month or something?
Man, it's so random because like I work as a bartender and I freelance too. Like so,
Okay.
for me I try to train at least 4 times a week. Like if I can
Oh,
get
nice.
5, like that's pretty good. But I sometimes I get like called for random gigs like here in LA, and then I just can't go to practice because like I gotta
Mm,
go get this. I gotta go pay my bills now. Like
for sure.
so
Yeah.
so I try to train 4 times a week, minimum 3, and then I'll try to train like 3 to 4 hours a day. Like when I do go train, and then maybe sometimes I'll train twice a day. Like if I have the day off, like I'll go wake up and train in the morning, like work out and
Yeah.
break, or then maybe I'll go break again later. Um, yeah, but yeah, minimum like 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. If I could do 5 again, that would be great. But
Hmm.
sometimes resting is training too, bro. I tell people all the time, take it. Resting is training. Like,
Yeah.
like not doing shit is part of your training. Train your
Yeah.
mind. Like, study footage or like, I meditate a lot too. So it's like for me, it's like every day. It's like every day, like you want to do something that cultivates like into like a good practice. So it's like even when you're resting, like that's part of
Yes.
training too. It's a life, like when people say breaking the lifestyle, that's what I see it as. It's like every day I'm doing something that is adding on to that so that when I do go to practice, like when I can, like around my work schedule, like I feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. 100%. Definitely it's that your physical movement, and then also mentally too, right? You gotta keep the
Yeah.
mind clear and straight to keep doing
Yeah,
it
yeah. I
as
think
well.
I feel like breaking takes like so much energy. Like I feel like breaking takes a lot. Like there's a lot that goes into breaking. So you got to do a little bit something every day. Even just like the thing I eat. Like if I eat the wrong thing that day, like practice is just not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I feel it till this day. And, I like to try to keep healthy and, a decent diet and stuff like that. And I definitely try to
Yeah.
eat like 4 hours before I practice. So that way it kind of
Yeah,
digests.
I'm a very
Cause
scheduled eater too. Like, if I know I'm practicing here, it's like, yo, I know I need to go eat and be fueled up and stuff. And yeah, it's all that stuff is very, very important. When you're young and nothing matters. When I was like 14, it was like, yo, we go break, and then like afterwards, like, yo, let's go to McDonald's and like, get like
yeah, yeah.
everything on the dollar menu, and then we go break again like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Those were the
Yeah.
days, the best days of my life, you know?
Yeah,
Those
yeah, for sure. Otherwise, you get a full stomach, you're practicing, it comes up, right? You can feel it. You
yeah,
just it's just
yeah, bro. And I like food, you know? Like so that's like always like my struggle, you know? But every now and then, of course, enjoy yourself, you know? Like life is meant to be enjoyed.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. Definitely. Man, sweet man. I know you've been training and competing a lot, traveling and battling. You've been out to Portland, Cali, you're from Washington, D.C., the East Coast. So when was it when you like actually started traveling, battling, got more serious within the breaking?
Man, being on the East Coast, man, it was pretty easy to travel. Like my first out of state jam, I was already 14. There was like an 18 and under battle in Philadelphia that I heard about, and
Oh,
I
nice.
wanted to go. Like I was already kind of hungry. I was like, "Ooh, I want to see if I'm the best young kid." Then yeah, and then I went to I started going to
Was that
Philly when
the
I was really young.
silverback? What was that?
No, no, it wasn't Silverback. It was like
Okay.
way before Silverback. This was back in like 2009. It was called, what was the name of the jam? It used to be thrown by this guy called Extreme Kicks. Like that was the name of the organization. It was yeah,
Hmm.
but so that was my first time, and then I got connected to Philly B-boys there, and then I was just going to Philly a lot. That was like kind of the only place I would travel to at the time.
Okay.
I would just go to Philly jams a lot. It was like a 3 hour drive, you know, like, and my parents used to drive me. And then eventually when like I had a friend that could drive, we would drive to Philly all the time. But I didn't like,
Dope.
so I kind of always knew traveling was like pretty valuable, you know, and then we made connections. Then Philly B-boys started coming to Virginia and Maryland and connecting with us. And so, yeah, traveling has always been kind of important in my breaking journey. And then it wasn't until I was 18, I didn't go to college initially. I took a gap
Hmm.
year just to travel. Like, so I worked a summer job at Domino's and was like, yo, I just want to travel.
Yeah.
It wasn't initially for breaking. I just I lived in my hometown all my life. I was like, I've always wanted to like see the world. So I
Yeah.
just, I worked at Domino's for the summer and just like saved up all that money and was like, yo, I'm just gonna go like travel as much as I can for the year. So so I ended up so I took a big U at first. Like I went down to Atlanta, then Florida, then Texas, then New Orleans. No, New Orleans, then Texas,
Oh,
then
wow.
Cali, then Portland, and yeah, so I went around and then that's when I started connecting with different scenes, you know? That's when I was like, "Oh shit, like there is way more to breaking than what I've seen, you know?"
Yeah.
Like so when I went down to Florida around that time, that's when they were having Outbreak. I went to the very last Outbreak 10 USA like world final.
Oh,
Like
wow. Okay.
and that was that and at the time I was just kind of just exploring life at that point. Like I was breaking, but I wasn't like breaking, you know? I was just 18. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just wanted to
Right.
see the world and see what was out there for me. And then that jam changed everything for me. Like that was the first time I saw so many b-boys like in my I think you need to see breaking in your eye in front of your eyes like to
Yes.
really feel it, you know? Like you never know how dope someone is until you see them right in front of you. Like someone could be really whack
Yeah.
to me on YouTube, but then I see them in person, I'm like, whoa, okay, actually this guy could do some shit, you know?
For real. Yeah.
And so that jam really changed my life, bro. That's when I really like that's when I made kind of my whole journey just about breaking. Like when I was traveling, I was like, that was the first time I saw Flayo, like, and he had like the brace on his knee, like he was breaking with one leg. First time I saw like Body
Uh-huh.
Carnival. First time I saw Rockstride in person, like battle in
Yeah.
person. I think no, not that wasn't the first time, but he was there too. First time I saw Chorito, B Boys from Russia. First time I saw Intact, I was like, wow, this is
Ooh,
fucking
yeah.
crazy, man. And it was just like traveling and like that like to that jam really like opened my eyes to like wow, like breaking is beautiful, you know what I mean? And also around that time, I was just chilling in Florida a lot, and there was a lot of nasty b-boys in Florida at that time that aren't really like famous. And that's when I realized, like, man, like there's nasty b-boys everywhere. Like, and some of the dopest b-boys I've ever seen aren't even famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when I wanted to kind of go travel to different scenes and like go to local practices, go to local jams, and go see the guy that's probably like so good, but they don't even have the resources to like travel and put their name out there. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that yeah, so that's when so to me that's when I started learning the value of traveling and like if you have the resources for it, like if you're able to do it, it's like that's how you get your name out there because then people started recognizing me and like when I would do a battle, That and then ever since then, anytime I did a battle, people from all those places would just like, and I would do good. They'd be like, "Yo, like Kurt, you're killing it, bro," and that's like how people like that's how my name started to build at that time,
For sure.
and Portland, like Portland and I went to Portland. That was like my last stop. And that's when I was like, holy crap! Like I didn't even think Portland wasn't even a scene in my mind at the time. And
Uh-huh.
but the B boys there, like the scene was really strong at that time. Like guys like Jason from Moon Patrol, Merc,
Oh yeah.
Tombo, who were
Yep.
like really strong at that time. Hugh, like um, I saw Buckshot for the first time
Oh
at that
yeah.
jam, and I was like, holy crap! Like dudes are really nasty, Like, and then look at some of these guys now, Look at Buckshot now,
Yeah.
But I seen that guy like no one knew who he was. He was just ripping ciphers, and I was like, yo, this guy is fucking good, And
For
I
sure.
did not
Yeah.
expect Portland or like the mid the that part of the states to like have such a strong scene at the time. Like I was really amazed by the talent at that jam. It's called Built Upon the Rock. It was like a qualifier
Oh
too
yeah. Yeah.
for Red Bull.
Was that oh, you were there? Was DJ
Yeah,
Soul Rain DJing?
I think so. I
Or it could have
forget.
been
It was
YD.
but I made top 16 and I lost to
Oh, sick.
Tombo.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, but and I think also that was another thing too, man. When I was traveling, like I was actually like making it into the brackets. Like, no one knew who I was. And I was making noise, like, and that's when I was like, oh shit, like I think I kind of have something here. Like, if you can,
Yeah.
I think that's why
Yeah.
it's so important to travel. Like, yo, you could be in your hometown and like everyone knows you and you could be killing it, and like there's kind of already that inherent bias. But if you go to a place, no one knows who you are and you're able to kill it, I think that's a true test of your skill. And
For
that's what
sure. Yeah.
that kind of kept giving me more motivation. I think that's why you need to go travel, like go to a place where no one knows who you are, all you have is your skills, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
see how you fare, like see how strong your skills are in those in different environments, you know what I mean, like
Yes.
so, and I think that's when you start to figure out your style, start to figure out how to develop further, you know
Yeah.
that's a so yeah, I mean traveling is super important, man, especially if you want to make something out of breaking, and I get that it's really hard, like if you don't have the resources, because a lot of this is an
Yes.
investment,
Yes.
man. Like you're not going to win the jam all the time. Most of the time you're just spending your money, you know what I mean, and just to build your name. But trust me, like that shit will eventually come back when like you start killing it enough, like people will start bringing you opportunities. People see that you're hungry, people see that you're like constantly putting yourself out there, like putting your rep on the line. I think
Yes.
people can see that passion, and like people want to help out other passionate people. That's been my experience in life. When you see someone truly like putting their heart out there, you're like, damn, I want to put this dude on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's freaking dope, dude. That's
yeah.
crazy that and you're just traveling by yourself or with like a
Yeah, I
buddy
was
or
just
something?
traveling by myself, man. And I was doing this like on a super budget. I was at the time there was like this website before even Airbnb. There was this website called Couch Surfing where
Oh,
people would
okay.
offer up their homes for free for you to stay, and like that's mostly where I stayed. Or like I would go on forums like, hey, like I'm a traveling b-boy, I'm doing this. If anyone wants to connect, let me know. And people would hit me up. Like people would be like, hey, like I saw your message on like bboy.org. Like
Uh-huh.
are you still looking for a place to stay? And I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And that to me was
Wow,
like,
that's crazy.
yeah, yeah, man, it's crazy, and I'm still connected to a lot of those people to this day, and to me that was always the beauty of breaking. It's like no matter where you go, you got a friend, because we all do this dance, like
Yeah.
I think that's the unspoken rule. Like anytime there's a b-boy in my where I'm at, and like they need a place to stay, and it's like, yo, we connect and we vibe. It's like, yo, come, like I'll offer you my place. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
that's the code of the b-boy in my opinion, because we're all on this journey together.
For sure.
Because so many people helped me out when I was down, and I just would like I always love to return the favor. And that to me is like why breaking is so dope, like why this journey is so beautiful, man. The connections you make with people, and yeah, so traveling is super important for many many reasons. Like you gotta that to me that's like most of the journey. If
Yeah.
you're not doing that, like then you're kind of missing the whole point, man. Like even more
Oh
so
yeah.
than just like going out to battle. It's like yo, go out and make connections with people, man. Like have friends everywhere,
Yeah.
that's so important, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% on that for sure. Like like I was saying, I traveled in Seattle and Canada, and I remember the first time I went to Canada, I was just like meeting everyone, like, oh, dude, you're dope, and like saying what's up to people too. And then
Yeah.
at the time I was in a crew, and they weren't as hungry as I was. Like this was probably 2011, 2013. I was like super hungry. I competed locally in Seattle. I went to Seattle a bunch, and then Canada, right? And so and then my crew wasn't there, and I think a few things happened. Like kind of life happens, which I kind of
Yeah,
wish I
it's tough,
kept
man.
kept doing it, right? Because I think that at that time I was like just putting my name out for repping myself, but I can't remember why I fell off, but I mean I got 3 kids now, so I mean that could be a reason.
Yeah.
Life happens and stuff. So
Life does happen, bro. Life does happen. It's tough, man. Even for me, I'm understanding that even more. Like, I think I'm very lucky that I've been able to keep breaking for this long, you know? I've known a lot of people who just life hits them a little harder earlier, you know? They got to
yeah,
take care of their family or something, or they have some other obligations that they have to tend to, you know. Me, like my parents were very supportive of me. They're in great health, so I don't have to like drop everything to like go take care of them right now. Like, so
oh,
I
nice,
know
nice.
I'm very lucky, you know. I like there are friends
Wow,
there are people I started breaking with who are like way nastier than me, to be honest. Like at the time, like they were like way more talented, but you know, some of them didn't have supportive parents. Like some of their parents like
right,
really didn't like breaking. Like I have a friend who was very talented, and like his mom was like, yo, like I'll disown you if you like try to make breaking your career. So I think that
yeah,
made it hard for him to want to keep breaking, you know, even just like part-time, you know, like when it just sucks when like people around you like don't really support you like that. So I get that. Like, yeah, life can hit you hard. So he kind of fell off like at
yeah,
one point, you know, just because he knew like he had to go do some other shit. Like he couldn't put his focus on breaking like once he had to go to college or stuff like that, you know. So
yeah,
yeah, life is tough, man.
for
Life
sure,
is really
yeah.
tough. I think I think if you're still breaking, like it's like it's
It's the
obviously
passion.
you're really dedicated and you're
Mhm.
really passionate, but also like, you know, I think some of our circumstances do come into play, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I for sure. There's a bunch of people here in Portland, life happens and that, didn't have the resources or opportunity to go and travel and bound and like and to still do it to this day. Like because there's a lot of people down here in Portland that could have been really dope, right? But
Yeah.
things happen and you're like, oh, okay. Stuff
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
it's all
Stuff
good.
happens,
Whatever.
man. It's tough, bro. Like, but I think if you can try to keep breaking in your life in any form, I think that's like whether or not you're like the illest beat boy or like you're like the most famous guy or just or whatever, it's still to me it's still important to keep it in your life, man. Breaking's for your health. Like that's
Yeah.
to me that's the most important thing about breaking. It's about like how you live your life. Like I think I live a healthier lifestyle because I break. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
if I didn't break, I don't think I'd be as health conscious as like, you know, eating right and working out and like having those things that just make you feel good like on a daily basis, you know? Because
Yeah.
like breaking made me learn that stuff, like through getting injured and all that stuff where I was like, I couldn't break, but I wanted to break so bad. So I had to learn these other things to get myself back into shape to do it again because I love breaking that much, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you
Yeah.
know, life happens and whenever life comes for me or whatever, and I feel like I can't be active in the scene as much as I can, like I'm gonna still break and I'm gonna still like try to go out to an event every now and then, you know. It'll always be a part of my life. Like I hope I'm like 60 still like going to jams or something, you know. Like
Hey.
still like meeting like local like going to the local session and meeting other like new cats, you know. Like I still like want to be a part of it, you know, to some degree. You know, I can never fully walk
Yeah.
away from it, I think, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of the fuel of the passion and love for breaking and the hip hop
Yeah.
scene, the music, and it kind of builds the character as we're you're learning from the steps from the beginning, from competitions, from kind
Yeah.
of the self discipline of learning and the confidence going out there, being on the hot spot, right? And so I think
Yeah.
that kind of does play a part with even lifestyle.
Yeah,
So,
100%. Like
yeah,
breaking in your life, I've always felt were like one in this like should be one in the same. Like, you know, how you live your life is also like those are values you put into breaking and vice versa. You know, breaking gave me
yeah,
like I think for some people they find it really hard to go out there and like um like from in front of a lot of people. Like that gives some people like crazy amounts of anxiety, right?
right,
And I think like any b-boy who's able to do that and like really kill it and like you should give yourself a pat on the back because that's really fucking hard to do, man. Like no matter what level you're at, like you put yourself out there, and I think that gives you confidence to put yourself out there in other ways. Like, maybe at your job, maybe you want to go ask out a girl, like whatever, bro. If you break, like bro,
Yeah.
that's a superpower, man. Like take pride in that. Like not what you're doing. Like breaking itself is already hard. Like there's a reason like there's it's not mainstream quote unquote, and I think part of it is
Right,
because it's just
right.
kind of I think it's just kind of hard like a baby freeze like that's like your ABCs, but a lot of people like will struggle with that for a while in the beginning, you know? And
Yeah.
then to put yourself out there and perform, it's like, yo, like you got to have a lot of confidence and self-belief in yourself, you know what I mean? Like so if you could put
Yes.
that into if you could do that, man, I think you could really do anything, bro, if you really see it that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Just apply the basics and the foundation, and then you can use that, knowledge to anything else, right? And so
Yeah, yeah.
I apply it to real estate. So I got my real estate license this previous
Yeah.
year, and then it's like, yeah, I got to learn the basics and foundation before if I want to progress. So, I took apply those breaking knowledge, what I learned to something else, different concept.
Yeah. Yeah, man, 100%. How you do anything is how you do everything, you know what I mean? Like it's cliche, but
Yeah.
it's so true, man. It's so true.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Most cliches are true in my opinion. Like ketchup on a hot dog, that's just the truth. Like it's a cliche and everyone knows it, but like it works.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
man. Cool. That's crazy. So, you're over in the West Coast now in Cali. So what made you
Yeah.
want to move from east to the west?
A lot of reasons, man. I think culminated in me coming to the West Coast. The where I'm from, the DMV area, we used to have a really thriving scene, and then over time it just really started to die out. Like and most of my crew lived on the West Coast now, because
Okay.
they work in film. And I spent a the majority of my last years in Virginia mostly just practicing by myself. And then like other members of my crew on
Yeah.
the East Coast weren't there either. It's just me and one other guy, Church. We were practicing together a lot. Um, and yeah, and then COVID happened. And
Okay.
I was in school at the time, and I wasn't really happy with it. But I didn't have like a career, so to speak. Like I didn't have any ways to make like good money.
Right,
But
right.
I wasn't really liking what I was doing in school. I was studying to be a physical therapist assistant, and I
Okay.
didn't, and it just felt like it wasn't for me, man. So I wanted to drop out. It was my second time dropping out of school, so it was kind of a really hard decision.
Yeah.
And mostly because truthfully, I wanted to break more because I felt like school was taking a lot of my time, and I felt age was catching up to me. I started to be more aware of my age and realizing that I didn't have all the time in the world to break. That
Right.
at one point I had to go put this down, and so, I talked to my parents and was like, yo, I think I want to like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know what to do. And I was talking about with my crew and they were like, yo, you can come to LA and there's more options for you to make money breaking. You could work in the
For
Hollywood
sure.
industry. Like, and I was teaching breaking and I wasn't really liking that way as a path to
To
make
make some
money from
funding.
breaking.
Right.
I don't think that was for me. Like some people that are really good at teaching, I don't think it was for me. So I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna try and take that chance then. And then, and I think with COVID happening, I was also just like I was living at home. So I
Okay.
didn't like, I didn't have bills to pay, like, ate food in my at my mom's house, like was just
Yeah.
training all the time and I was getting all that money from COVID. So I just sat on that money and then I had all this money saved up. So so I was like, help me start my life in LA. So everything kind of
So
worked
okay.
out for me in a sense. So I was like, okay, I think that made it easier to like kind of take the leap to go to LA and try to see if I can like make a living breaking out here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And the scene is way stronger here too. Where I was just nobody was breaking anymore, man. I think it's really hard to be motivated to do something when you kind of feel like the outlier of it. Like, I would see friends from high school,
Yeah.
just being like, yo, you still breaking? Like they're surprised.
Right,
Like,
right.
and I was like, yeah, like I still really loved it. Like I didn't see anything wrong with it because like I still really loved breaking, like a
Yeah,
lot.
for
Like I would
sure.
rather go to practice than like go to happy hour. Like
Yeah.
when people are like, yo, what do you do for fun? I'm like, yo, I just go break. Like to me, like practicing and training is like still really fun for me. So yeah, I just knew that I wanted to take breaking further. So that's why I came to LA because all the best B-boys are here, like in the States at least, like some of the strongest B-boys live here.
Yeah.
There's more money for it here. So yeah, just a lot of those are the main reasons, like
Right.
and yeah, so still here, still, and I plan to be here for a little while longer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If you're pursuing a passion and you want to go to an area where there's opportunities, right? And
Yeah.
so you got to travel out that if that's the case, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so man, that's a bold decision, right? Because I mean,
Yeah. It
but
is. It is because trying to make money from breaking
yeah,
is fucking crazy.
it
When people say
is.
you want to try and break for a living, it's fucking that's like a crazy decision. Even me myself, I
Yeah,
was like, yo, this is like a really crazy decision that I'm going to make.
yeah,
But I stand
for
by it
sure.
100%, like, and I'm very happy with how things turned out. Not everything turned out the way I wanted it to be, but I'm happy with where it is and what I've done and like I guess accomplished here as well,
Yeah, yeah, I can
Yeah.
adapt to it, right? And so,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
man, no,
man.
that's
Yeah.
freaking awesome, man. That's really tight because I heard, there's opportunities where in California or like, there people try to pursue gigs, here entertainment wise, like in Portland.
Yeah.
But some other spots like California and Seattle are more with opportunities to pursue that type of stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
man.
So it's good.
And there's a lot of, there's some pretty lucrative opportunities in LA for breaking. Like I've seen some gigs and their rates and I'm like, wow, it's crazy, But don't get me wrong, like it's like super easy. Like anyone could do it. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
industry is pretty like up and down, Like I also work as a bartender now.
Right, right.
So but to me I like that and it gives it still I still get time to train when I do it and I get to pay my bills and then but then I audition and pick up gigs when I can,
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah. Dope, man. Dope.
yeah, and I wouldn't have like, and I think you gotta like leave your hometown to see what else you can do, because I wasn't I didn't intend to be a bartender. Like if I lived in Virginia, like and you asked me if I wanted to bartend, I would be like, nah. But here it was like the strike happened.
Oh,
So
oh, right.
like when the strike happened, I
Yes.
didn't know what to do. And I don't have a degree. I didn't have any other options for work other than like doing retail. So and then I got an offer to like bartend. Like I was like working for like a staffing agency, like doing like
Yes.
private parties, like catering and stuff. Like I was working in
Okay.
catering. And then someone was like, "Yo, do you want to bartend?" And I was like, "What? I don't know how to do that." And they were like, then they just showed me how, and I ended up really liking it, and I got paid pretty good. So I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go more towards this," and it's been helping me like great side hustle, especially here in LA. Great
Oh,
side
yeah.
hustle.
I bet.
It's flexible, and like I still get time to train, so it works out, So yeah, I mean. So that's like what I mean when I say like, yo, sometimes you gotta take that leap of faith and things might not turn out the way you think they will, but they kind of will, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also bartending, that can be a really good way to communicate and talk to other people, right? Who knows? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's and I like to talk to people, and I think it helps me like kind of flex that like muscle to like conversate with people. People really like to talk to their bartender for some reason, man. Like, like
yeah.
I would just be sitting there pouring them a drink and they want to tell me their life story. I'm like, bro, what? Like I didn't even ask, but okay.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's a good way to get into the person. Maybe down the road they run a big event, party event or
Yeah,
planner event. They
exact
want some dancers or they want another bartender, to
exactly,
to, to host some few things. So yeah, yeah. So it's
Yeah,
cool.
man.
Yeah, man, tight. That's dope, man. I know you said your support system was pretty strong with your parents and family members for supporting you within the dance. Besides that, was there any struggles or injuries you had in that kind of limited you on breaking so far?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think trying to like lots of struggles, man. I mean, breaking is still a struggle and to be
Yeah,
honest, I think it's like a constant struggle. Like, like I think
yeah,
like even no matter who you are, like you're constantly struggling through something and I think that's kind of what makes breaking like dope though. Like, I mean, I've struggled with like trying to find a career that supports breaking, like I've worked like mad different jobs and obviously like my parents like they were supportive of it. They were never like they never pressed me like, yo, what are you doing, but they were like, hey, we obviously see you love this thing, we don't want you to stop doing that thing, but
yeah,
yeah, I think I struggled a lot with like trying to find work that I liked to do that helped supported breaking. And then I also struggled a lot with injuries for sure. Like even to this day, like, you know, I've torn both ligaments in my wrists, like
Oh shit.
twice each. I had like an MCL problem, I had groin problems, I had really bad back problems for like a year. And that always sucks, especially when you
Yeah.
want to like keep going so far. And and my spirit for breaking is still very strong.
Yes.
And for me, I took a lot of wrong turns. Stuff I'm working on now, I should have worked on when I was like 15. Because
Hey.
at the time when I was breaking, like we were told we had to be specialists. So I wanted to just be good at footwork.
Mm,
And then my mentality over time has changed where I realized, oh, actually, I think it's important to be very well rounded. Like you should have everything, you know? Like I
yeah.
had some power back then, but not as much as I do now. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely easier to learn power when you're younger. That's just like the truth. So now it's like I want to learn new stuff, but it's like my body is changing and I didn't stretch when I was younger. I didn't work out or nothing like that. We just didn't have the awareness of breaking like we do now. Like, so
Yeah.
that's why I think, so yeah, so the injuries are definitely preventing me from like trying to progress sometimes because I feel like like I said, I took wrong turns. Things I wish I learned back then, I'm trying to learn now. But now with like now I got like grown man pains and I also like have to work. I also have to like pay my own bills now, you know.
Right,
So
right.
it's like I can't break every single day like just whatever, like just blow off things and yeah, man, just lots of different struggles, man. And just I think the struggle of just like trying to find out who I am was also like a big thing. Like there was points in my life breaking
Yeah.
wasn't my focus. Like I was always passionate about it, but it was like, at one point I thought I wanted to be a novelist, so I went to writing school, and that didn't work out. And then I thought I wanted to be like a lot of different things. But
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
but life kept directing me back to breaking. And then I started to take that as a sign. I was like, okay, maybe I should take this like more seriously. I would get good feedback. I would enter battles and people would give me good feedback, and I would feel good. And I was like, okay, I think life is like wants me to go this path for some reason. So yeah,
Right.
just
Yeah.
I think those are the struggles, man. Just like you're just trying to be who you are and like trying to make that make sense with breaking. Like what does that mean for you? Like
Right.
I feel like so many people think there's like one path in breaking. Try to be like a world champion or something, whatever that
Yes,
is,
for
you know?
sure. Right,
But
right.
I think like it's okay to like take detours in life and like go back to it, and like
Yeah.
try to figure out who you are before you like really want to like pursue this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As I'm learning and doing this podcast, I actually learned a lot what I've seen so far and through my eyes, within breaking, obviously breaking, you train, so hard to be world champion or just
Yeah.
keep winning jams, right? Also, there's teaching involved. You could be a teacher
Yeah.
teaching breaking. There's people that have mentoring coaches where you can help mentor and coach people, new gens or people that are trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
really like real training to be like athlete, to win world
Yeah.
champs, right? And stuff like
Yeah, yeah.
that. And then there's also, there's other things where people, throw events and stuff like that. And, to throw it every couple months or something, who knows? And
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
there's a
man.
lot of things to play through, and it's just finding the right movements of how you can do it within still breaking and still like in the scene. And so that's one concept. I'm doing the podcast too because I really want to learn like the mindsets of like
Yeah.
you and other people down the road. Like, how are these people getting to these levels that I haven't seen like locally? Yes, in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't exposed to it till like recently. I'm like, oh, dude, this is crazy, right? Like, me and my buddy went to Vegas last couple 2 weeks for a vice versa jam, which was
Yeah,
a
yeah. That gym
district.
look.
Ronnie and Rox Wright and ATN from Battleborn or yeah, Battleborn. They were judging, and dude, like that was crazy. Like everyone was good. I was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, from seeing because I'm so used to like seeing Portland scene and Seattle scene,
Yeah.
right? But going to there, like everyone was good. Like nobody was holding back. It felt like I was like, yeah, you gotta go hard every round.
Yeah,
And
bro. I
so
mean, I mean, I think breaking takes a lot. Like it takes a lot to break. So when I see really good breaking, you gotta respect it. That a lot of time and dedication and like a lot of sacrifice and a lot of just like a lot of failure goes up to it. Like I
yeah,
feel like just trial and error to like figure that shit out. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I was really like I feel like I was like whack for like so long. I feel like I got good like last year. but then I sometimes I'm like, like I feel like I'm still not good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant process, you know? Like you're never like trying to like we're all trying to achieve something that almost like doesn't really exist, and yet we still like go for it anyways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the main goal is just be the best version of yourself within the dance floor too. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's tight, man. So cool. Are you working any projects, anything building up right now?
Um, Nothing currently, man. I mean, just right now, like I was dealing with a knee injury last year that took me out for the rest of the year.
Dang.
Um,
Okay.
and I've just been also trying to I just feel like I've been plateauing in my breaking, so I'm also trying to evolve. So I'm just training a lot again, just trying to get back in shape and
Yeah.
hopefully come out strong in 2024. That's just
Yeah.
like my plan, like because I competed a lot 2022 and I felt like I did, pretty good. Like I started to build more of my name. And then 2023 I started off strong, and then I started to do bad at certain battle, or I wasn't performing the way I wanted to, and then I had that knee injury, and then I just kind of felt a little lost this year in terms of like my breaking. So now I'm just training
Yeah.
to like just I'm just really just trying to feel good again and just like go out and just hopefully make some noise, you know? Like yeah, so me it's just training and just hopefully like making some noise in 2024.
Dope. Dope. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I feel you on that. Definitely same here. Try and make some
Yeah,
noise
man.
this year. I wish I did that, um 10 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
2013, I think that was a good year for me. But then,
Yeah.
things I was doing a bunch of jams. I think I won like two jams that year, and then I throw
Yeah.
into two jam or one or two jams that year, and I judged
Yeah.
like two jams that year, and I was like, oh, that was a good year. But then, stuff happens. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, just, stuff happens. Hopefully I don't get injured. Hopefully nothing gets something crazy comes up. But yeah, just trying to stay consistent and do what I can because I do feel my age coming, and like people are really nasty right now, So it's like,
Yeah.
damn, I wanna
Oh
and then that
yeah.
makes me want to kill it, Because I still feel I still really love breaking,
Yeah.
So I
And
still want to spend most of my time on it.
yeah, and you're 28, turning 29. I think
Yeah.
you still got a lot of time.
Yeah.
I what I know now from if I was your age, I'd be like, oh yeah, don't stop, just keep training, even though
Yeah, yeah.
some training days not be perfect. You're still recovering from a knee injury, but do the
Yeah.
best you can, within and the capability you have right now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, I'm optimistic. It's like I said, it's all up here, bro. Like I think a lot
It
of people will
is.
let that shit get them down really quick. Man, shit I've seen, the shit I've seen other people overcome, like bro, there's no excuse. Like you can find a way. Like there's always a way. It's like that's my motto. Like there's always
Yeah.
a way. Like no matter what, like if you really want to be dope, man, you'll be dope. Like that's my philosophy,
Yeah.
You got to have that will inside you. Like
Yep.
and that's like fucking but that's really hard to maintain, that's you got to be very singularly focused in your vision and your goal, but it takes a lot of work and sacrifice, but if you truly believe in that shit, then like go for it, man, like
Yeah. Yep.
that so yeah.
Yep. Nobody's holding you back besides yourself. So,
Yeah, it's so I mean it's
so
so cliche, but it's true,
I
man.
know.
It's just the truth, bro. Like
For real.
people
Yep.
you like I've seen it over and over and over again, like time and time again. Like been doing this 15 years. Like that's been the most constant thing. Like when you really like the people that really like made it or whatever, like despite whatever your circumstances, like every single great b-boy you see on the internet, whatever, like
Yeah.
you think that shit was easy for them to like stand like to be on certain stages, be in certain places, bro. Like it wasn't easy to get there. It took a
No.
lot. It's way more than training. It's like just dealing
Oh
with life,
yeah.
bro. Like I said,
Yeah.
like some of the stuff I dealt with in my own life of just like trying to find out who I am and like what I wanted to do and like what I felt like was true to me,
Yeah, for sure.
takes a lot to get here, But hey, but like I said, you got to find that way for yourself. Your path isn't gonna look like someone else's path, and I think I spent a lot of time trying to emulate other people's path and not realizing like I had my own path. You know,
Yeah.
I think once you figure out what your path is and like you just go walk that, nothing else really matters. You know what I'm saying? Like play your own
Yep.
campaign. Play your own. Like that's the whole point of this shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like breaking is like the best RPG game, bro. Like you could, you know what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? You could build it however you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what it is,
It is. It is. Yeah. build this experience and
Yeah,
build the
bro.
knowledge and stuff.
Yeah, bro. Bro, it's like you ever play Elden Ring? It's like that, bro. Pick your class, build, do whatever, you know?
Yeah,
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 it's break into open world RPG.
it is. It
The
is.
best kind, the best kind. There's
Yeah,
no play how you want.
that's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of yeah, that's dope, man. Cool, man. Sweet. So, do you have any I know you said 2024 you're planning to do more competitions, get your name more out there, compete more, right? And so,
Yeah.
cool, man. I think at this moment we're gonna probably wrap it up here. But
Okay, cool.
before we do, I like to do what's called a cipher round. And so pretty much the rules is pretty simple. I'm gonna ask you probably 5 to 6 questions and just whatever you can
Okay.
think of at the moment. And so you ready for it?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna try and not say nothing crazy, nothing
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah, for sure. It involves with them breaking and some random
Yeah, yeah.
questions. And so like the first question is what is your favorite breakdance move?
Head spin. Yeah,
Head
that
spin?
feels
Okay.
it's so much fun. Continuous head spin or like a one shot drill. Too
Yeah.
much fun. I could do that for like 5 hours, you know?
Dope, dope. Cool, man. And is there an artist that you love to listen to? Or
Mm,
it could be
Man,
it could be anything. It doesn't have to be specific to breaking. My favorite is Linkin Park, and so it
yeah.
doesn't specific have to be
Um, I mean, lately, bro, I've been really I like listening to Isaiah Rashad.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like even to break two, I think he's really dope. I really like Aaron May. I think they're both the really dope rappers.
Okay,
Yeah,
word.
Domo Genesis, I really like as well. Yeah,
Okay, dope,
yeah,
dope. I gotta check them out.
yeah, yeah,
I'm pretty sure I heard some songs that
yeah,
probably,
yeah,
the main ones.
yeah,
But
yeah. They're pretty popular. Like they're both like they're all like really popular.
nice,
Yeah.
nice, cool. Do you like pineapple on the pizza?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. You're the first one out of like the last five I did with that question. And so it's
I
tight.
think it's
It's
perfectly
tight.
fine. Yeah, it's good. But I don't eat cheese though, so that people think that's weird. So I eat pizza
Ah,
without cheese.
really?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like the
not a
taste of
cheese
cheese.
fan either. So when I order my
Yes.
pizza, I do light cheese though. I can eat
Dang.
like mozzarella cheese a little bit,
I
but
can't do it at
I do
all. I
light.
just sauce and
Really?
like lots of toppings. Yeah,
Oh
people
shit.
think I'm
Okay.
insane.
We're gonna get along just fine.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have a favorite book?
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I used to be a novelist, so I have a lot of like, I used to read a lot. Yeah. The Goldfinch is really dope by
Okay.
Donna Tartt.
Okay.
I think for if you want something like I also was really into philosophy at one point, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Um,
Mm.
you know, yeah, I could go on, bro. I think those two, if you want like books, yeah, just
Yeah.
books, yeah,
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 dope,
those are
dope,
good.
man. All right, with the last one. So if you had a chance to enter a 2-on-2 competition with any B-boy, B-girl, who would that be?
Um, man, bro, yo, like
Could be anything,
just
anybody.
just
I know
anybody? Yo,
it.
I want to
Yeah,
enter with like, I mean, obviously just like my crew, I feel like nothing's better than battling with your crew.
yeah.
This like I hate to give you the corny cliche answer, but it's true. Like you ever seen Pacific Rim? It's like when they pilot like the Jaeger, like the giant mech, like the
Uh-huh.
both people have like their brains have to be in sync.
You're right.
But like fanboy answered, like yo, I think it'd be mad dope to battle with Migas. Like
Oh, really?
yeah. Migas is the
Yeah.
truth. He's the dopest, and he was a cool ass dude to like see like and meet.
Nice. That's so sick. Dope. Dope,
Yeah.
man. Cool, man. That's pretty much it we have for for the podcast. Before we get off, do you have any or where can we find you if people want to get in touch with you, actually?
Yeah, just hit me up on Instagram at Curt Rage, Curt underscore Rage, Curt with a C, not a K.
Okay.
Yeah, just holla at me.
Nice, nice. I'll link those all your tag and stuff on the description below. And before we end it, do you have any knowledge or inspiration value from you would like to give to the audience or the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, just stay consistent, and like don't doubt yourself. I think I'm also like I think everyone's like filled with doubt,
Yeah.
but like if you really love this, like just do it, man. And that's all that matters. Like if you love it, like whether you're like the dopest or wackest person, like just keep breaking. I think that's more important than anything. Like I'm like
Yes.
I could be the wackest b-boy ever. Like I could lose every battle from here on out, and I probably will, but I'm still gonna break.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It was
yeah,
that fall forward, right? all those
Yeah.
failures, but fall in a progressive way to go keep moving
Yeah.
forward. So
100%, man.
man, that's dope. That's dope. Hey, thank you for taking your time to get on the show. Such a
Yeah.
blessing to have you on.
Thank
And
you for having me, bro.
yeah, dope, man. If you guys, viewers, audience, if you guys take this any value or inspiration, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Do you have any last words or takeaways?
Support breaking businesses, not just brands, but businesses. Create your own. Invest in some if you can, get a chance. Find people out there who are passionate about something. See if you can work with them and invest into their ideas, especially if they're the ones doing your work, so you don't have to. And if not, investing, make it yourself. You don't understand how much you're really going to build the culture if you do that, right? Like you're really investing back into the culture and creating